on Facebook, and if you can, please share it on X. I would really appreciate it. Okay.
And I need to back off because these Middlesex chips or these Millsworth chips are very addictive. You know?
Yeah. So guys, how you doing all? It's Steph back for at least a little while. Had some brie cheese for lunch. That's about it. Didn't really feel like eating a lot. Anyway, want to talk a little bit about the financials that Disney put out there. First off, they're getting kind of beaten up on Wall Street. If you go and look at their shares right now, it's about $108 a share. That's down. Again, they're stable, which is always a good sign, but they got a lot of problems. First off, they have a new CEO about to be named, which I would say if you're a Wall Street person, you're probably kind of iffy about who this might be. Depending if it's Josh D'Amaro, you're probably going to be happy. If it's the awful Dana Walden, you're not going to be happy. That's just the way it is. So we've got that going on. And, you know, despite some victories for the studios, Zootopia 2, etc., you know, they've been pretty bland. And again, lots of questions haven't been answered because Igers leaving and they haven't, really put out who's going to replace him. As you know, in my video from this morning, if you want to watch that, please do. It looks like Josh D'Amaro is going to be the likely successor. I really don't think Disney could handle having a woke, awful like Dana Walden as CEO. She would, whatever didn't get destroyed, she would pull a Kathleen Kennedy. If you don't trust women in Hollywood, don't. And despite her being, at the Walt Disney Corporation, which is a massive conglomerate, she does TV and streaming. And, I don't think the fans should trust her. I really don't. I mean, I don't see where she's an asset. I mean, look, there are people in Hollywood, and we saw them last night. I'm going to comment on the Grammys that if you are anything but a white man, you're an asset, even if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's how DEI works, okay? So we don't really know. Now, they did their financial call today, and I didn't realize it was today. I woke up right when it started, and I just, had my coffee and went on my morning ritual and didn't listen, which figures. It figures. And like I said, they bragged about the parks and Mando and Grogu going to Smuggler's Run. And we know that Han Solo and Leia and Luke and Vader and others are going to be at the parks. Before I get into the Grammy Awards, which I want to talk about, I want to talk about what's going on. Now, go to Screen Rant, go to Disney Dining, go to Inside the Magic. They're not going to say what is going on. They're going to give you what they hope is going on. And, we get Kyle, Ron, and Ray are going to be around the Rise of the Resistance, and they won't shut the fuck up about a Ray movie that's never happening. The Simon Kinberg disaster, which isn't fucking happening. All right, so you get Rise of the Resistance. Did a video on it last week. There is nothing there. You can see inside the ride. They've got walls up around it. They completely quarantined it off from the rest of the park. And I'm going, this does not bode well for the sequels. Okay. Why would they do it? And they're, you know, the PR speak of, well, we're just doing this because it's for refurbishment and fixing things. With no timeline to when it's finished. Okay. Now, if you want to go and see what it looked like before, Disney Plus, if you're a subscriber to Disney Plus, go on Disney Plus. They have the ride on there, and you can watch it. It's stupid. It is bland. It is boring, and it is absolutely an unneeded experience. I mean, it's you're in a car, and you're basically looking at, you know, hologram Ray, who gives a shit, and then, you know, animatronic Kyle Ron, you know, leering out from a catwalk, looking like the giant, you know, Darth Revan douchebag wannabe that he is. So there you go. Okay, and that's, you know, what's going on there. So I don't know what they're changing it to, but I don't believe that for a minute that the park people who love the sequel are telling the truth. I don't think they know either. Because again, it looks like it's a secret project. Okay. And because we're getting a New Hope, Star Wars kind of thing going on, Luke and his, you know, the first thing you see him in, I like to call him his pre-Jedi jammies. Leia with the Cinnabons. I expect to see, when you see Han Solo, to be in the tactical vest and spacer boots, and of course Vader will have the Vader armor from A New Hope, representing Vader at his most powerful, in my opinion. That's what you'll get. And of course you'll have Mando and Grogu running around. And I assume other characters like Ahsoka will be there and other things, you know. You know, different eras, I think, can kind of mix, especially when it's OG and what Filoni's doing. I think that works. So that's going on. And I want to caution people, we don't know what they're up to. And this is where it's going to lead to Josh D'Amaro. Josh D'Amaro runs the parks. And we know that they wanted the OG to be represented in the parks till Kennedy, you know, basically walked into March, I can see her, March goose stepping into, you know, Igers' office saying, we have more movies ahead of us and behind, so we should concentrate the parks on the sequel. Translated, I want to piss on everything and mark it as my own. Okay. It failed. The stupid immersive hotel failed. You know, nobody wanted, I mean, Ray kind of is an afterthought now. They put Luke out there and then everybody's starting to follow him around, right? That's what you want. Do you want to attract people? And the nostalgia bug, which I'm sorry is actually quite a powerful drug. I mean, you know, and you want people to be there to remember, bring their kids, bring their grandkids, so they can actually experience something of what we did as kids and young adults. Okay, that's important. That's what Disney stands for. It doesn't stand for the fourth and female in LGBTQ gross shit. Okay, you know, if Walt or Roy, if Roy Disney was alive and saw what they did, first off, he'd have been like, why do we need to buy Marvel? That's not the Disney Corporation. Okay, hey Cross, you know, is buying Fox. Today in a Deadline, I noticed a headline where Iger was bragging about what a great idea it was to buy Fox. How much in debt and how much bad stuff for Disney is corporate debt because they did that, right? The bad business decision. Buying Star Wars, they got it on the cheap, and then decided to let a crazy lady fuck it up completely. All right. So there you go, and that's what happened. And now that he's leaving, it's like, what can happen here to fix it? Well, Josh D'Amaro obviously is the guy behind getting the OG back in the parks. So that's the first step. And apparently, who I think it was it you, Cross? It was somebody said, yeah, it was in the video this morning, saying that the lightsabers are better at now the store, which is now going to be an Imperial surplus store, actually have retractable blades. Okay, they didn't have them before. These are the little things matter. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Cross. The little things really matter. Sorry. And, when you see it, you got to see changes are coming. And with D'Amaro, it looks like he said, we're doing this. We're doing this. And, they are. I didn't realize it was at Target. I thought it was at the Disney store at the park. Okay, so, well, maybe not, but, whatever. So that's where we're at. And we'll get probably within a couple days news that Josh D'Amaro, or please God, not Dana Walden. She looks like the younger sister of Abigail Spanberger. Put her in a gray Nazi uniform with a skirt and she could be a camp guard. She just looks like a terrible, awful. She really does. Okay, that's cool, Cross. So, or we could get somebody completely like out of left field. And remember, so last year the new chairman of the board, who I think actually was the chairman of the board at one of the big financial institutions, Morgan Stanley or something, basically said, we are looking outside of Disney. So I don't know what's happening. All I know is that the buzz keeps saying it's Josh D'Amaro, so if this was the Kentucky Derby, he'd be the 3-1 favorite. Dana Walden would be like a 10-1, not really a long shot, and then somebody coming, a name out of left field would probably be the 50-1 shot. Okay, that's how you look at that. So anyway, there you go. My advice for the new incoming CEO and Alan Bergman, spend money on marketing Mando and Grogu. Just do it. Please. We need an actual trailer now. It's coming out in May. You might as well put the trailer out. An official trailer. A real trailer, not a teaser. I saw the official trailer for the Michael Jackson bio. Actually, it looks pretty good. I might actually go out and watch it. Okay, it just, when I was in high school, I didn't like him. But it's kind of nostalgia, whatever. And we're going to lead into the Grammys with this. Back in the day when Michael was going through all that crap, being accused of all kinds of shit, I believed it. He's a weirdo. All right. I mean, the guy, you know, you can blame his father, which is what I think we're going to get with this movie. His father was a bad dude. Okay. He was just a really bad dude. And I think that Michael, because of who he was the sparkly object dangling in everybody's faces, because people whose names we don't know were the real ones behind all the abuse. Okay. Corey Feldman said it, even though I think he's 99 fettuccine full of shit, 99% fettuccine full of shit. You know, Corey Haim was assaulted. A lot of these young actors were. And, you know, it wasn't movie stars like, when I hear, and it's usually conservatives who haven't seen a movie in 40 fucking years. Oh, Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks. No, just because their name is on the list doesn't mean they were part of that. And personally, if I was a defense lawyer, I would win the case, right? I mean, it's because it's bullshit. You can't just say because you don't like someone's politics that they did something heinous like that. You know, and really it comes out of being angry at them over politics and you know, and I get frustrated with people. You know, it's when I hear a conservative say, I haven't seen a movie in 40 years, and they go like this, stick their noses way up in the air. I kind of look at them and go, you must live a boring fucking life. Because you don't necessarily have to go to the movies to watch a movie. You can get up off your butt, go to the cabinet, pull out a DVD or a Blu-ray, stick it in the player and watch, right? You don't have to necessarily see everything they're making right now, right? And a lot of the people that have been smeared by the everybody but us shiny object bullshit, you don't know whose names they are anyway. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. We're finally getting names like George Clooney, who said something really disgusting about, I think it was girls in Finland. What? I'm sure, you know, that anti-Semitic wife of his is probably really happy his name showed up in those emails. We've got, of course, the really disturbing shit from Bill Gates. And, you know, and the only thing we get about Donald Trump is Epstein losing his shit about how much he hates him. There's also a video floating around that I saw of Epstein basically blaming Bill Clinton. Yeah, George Clooney. Yep. Epstein basically blaming Bill Clinton for the financial crisis back in back in like 2007, 2008. You know, the variable home loan. You don't do that. You get a locked rate. Because I know people who've lost their houses because they got loans like that because it was really low. And then the interest went way up and they couldn't afford it, right? And it's not wise real estate buying. Well, all right, Batman and Robin, I'll just bring that up. I got to meet the director, Joel Schumacher, of that movie at the Phantom of the Opera premiere at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York City. And I have to say, the last human being in the world that should have directed a Batman movie is Joel Schumacher, okay? Because it's just like, and this is a long time after that fiasco happened. I remember I didn't go to see it in the theater, but I got it as a rental and tried to watch it with my niece because I was basically staying at my sister's house while she was out of town on business, and just going to work and helping the kids get their homework done and everything in Boston. And we stopped watching it. We just grabbed one of my movies that I had and watched that instead. And the reason why is because garbage, hello, it was really weird. And I had so many like questions like Tommy Lee Jones. The guy's a good actor. Here you go with Lonesome Dove. But to be honest, did he actually deserve the Oscar for The Fugitive? Because when you watch it, it was almost like watching a comedy performance in retrospect, not an acting thing, right? There were so many actors back in the day that could have played that role in a much more subtle, much more, I guess, toned down, realistic way. I don't know. I just, I'm kind of going, um, oh no, the cheesy stuff. They wanted to bring the camp of the TV show, and I didn't like the TV show because it was campy, and I was that big, and it was already in reruns when I was a kid. But now that Jay-Z is mentioned in the Epstein files, right? Now, I know there are people out there thinking, oh, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson died in what, 2007, 2008? Really? You guys? No. No, he didn't. No, and no. Okay. So this is a segue into the Oscars. First off, Chappell Roan basically should just call herself a whore and be done with it. All right? The girl needs to find a nice man and knock it the fuck off. Okay, really. She needs a good man. Okay, then there's Billie Eilish, who looks like she hasn't bathed in 40 years. I don't know who does her wardrobe, but I've never seen something so ugly. Why are you dressed like that at an award show? Oh my God. And then, you've got the Grammys letting, what's his face, the MC, whose name I can never remember because he's so forgettable, saying shit that they can get sued into the ground for that, are already verified not true, and they're still pushing that shit out there. The Grammys are gonna be lucky Donald Trump doesn't own them by the time they're done. Trevor Noah. The left needs to fucking stop. No, my grandfather did not steal the farm in Reedstown, Wisconsin, you fucking bitch. Billie Eilish. He was a legal immigrant. He came here. He was sponsored by my great uncle Henry, I think it was Henry, to come to help my great uncle. The dairy farm, I think it was the dairy farm, that they had outside of Reedstown, Wisconsin. Okay. He went to Ellis Island. He traveled steerage on the Lusitania in its maiden voyage in 1908. Got to Ellis Island, made his way from New York City to probably La Crosse, where maybe Reedstown had a train station, where his brother met him, and they went to the farm. Uncle or Grandpa Itry decided to join first grade so he could learn English. Guess who taught the class? My grandmother. That's how he met my grandma. And I remember him having a very heavy Norwegian accent. He was anything but what you'd think a Norwegian is. You know, he wasn't over 6 feet tall, didn't have blonde hair, red hair, didn't have blue eyes. He had black hair and dark eyes. So, you know, there's some question of what other heritage is back there. And I guess one of us could do 23 and me or whatever they call it and see what else is there. But I don't, you know, do they sell the DNA? And who do they sell it to? All right, questions. But no, Grandpa did not steal any land. My mom's mother's family did not steal land in Connecticut when the King of England gave them land after the French and Indian War, because they had served the crown loyally. The cousins in Indiana didn't. The cousins out in Colorado didn't. All right, if you're bitching about the Native Americans, let's have this conversation, okay? All right. There is a scene in Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee where Colonel Nelson Miles is having basically a talk, a sit down, as Michael Franzese would say, with Sitting Bull. And Sitting Bull starts bitching about the Black Hills. And, you know, I'm going to paraphrase, but Miles is like, wait, hold it. You didn't own the Black Hills. The Shoshone, Blackfeet, Crow, etc. owned the Black Hills, and you drove them out, right? So the idea that anybody's living on stolen land, I'm pretty sure the Shoshone who actually aided the United States cavalry in the Plains Indian Wars against the Sioux would be like, can we have the Black Hills back? The Crow and the Blackfeet all going, that was ours. The three, you know, and, you know, there you go. So Billy, you know, fucking knock it off. Okay, just, you're ignorant. You're a moron. And, you know, no one really needs to have someone as untalented as you with all the marketing you've got behind you. Hey, Mike, telling us what to think. If you want to be, I think I might be coming down some, a guilty white little, fine, don't do it. Do what Ricky Gervais said. Keep your politics to yourself. Go up, accept your award, thank your God, thank, you know, whoever else, and fuck off. Okay? That's what he said. I agree with him. Okay, then we've got Bad Bunny. The most racist Latino I have ever run into outside of John Leguizamo. Okay, and Giancarlo Esposito, who, if I was the head of Lucasfilm, I'd actually have him come into the office and say, if you think for a minute that you are going to do shit like this when we've got a movie coming out and you're in it, you're wrong. You were signed to a contract. The contract stipulated this. If you do it again, we're done. We're done. And I'm going to make damn sure why. Everybody knows why. All right, because I'd hold these people to a contract that says when you're doing PR and when you're doing things like that, whether it's for the movie you're in for us or somebody else, you will not speak of politics because we want everybody to come to this movie, okay? We like to make money, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong in that, okay? I mean, the more money Lucasfilm makes and Disney gets, the more they can invest, the more employees they can hire. Oh, Mike, he did say something very violent recently, and yeah, he needed to be called out. But Bad Bunny, anybody here gonna watch the Super Bowl? I'm not. I haven't watched it since. I haven't watched it, God, since I think 2018 or 2019. No, 2018, right? Why? Now you can sit there and scream, "Oh, it's free speech." Ugh. Kneeling down for the national anthem. But when you've got military men showing up and color guard, and then you have the black national anthem, you want to be divisive? There you go. And then you've got the regular national anthem, and you got a bunch of these thugs who they went to college, but you can't tell if they learned anything, kneeling down because somehow they're victims in white privilege. White privilege. No such thing. No such thing. Okay, no such thing. And, every time I hear it, I just cringe because it's like, but anyway, so the Grammys, I don't watch it. And I really wanted to see the Ozzy Osbourne tribute, right? But I didn't feel like it. And it's on here on YouTube, so I think I'm gonna watch it just to see it. But that was it. They didn't celebrate music. It was just a political circus with a bunch of people who are fucking stupid. And the shadow overhanging everything. Jay-Z is named in the Epstein files, which basically makes Beyonce look stupid, right? No, I'm not saying him or her ever went to the island, but I guarantee you $1,000 they did. And the email that I read that Clooney wrote to Epstein, that's something to look into, and, then we got Trevor Noah perpetuating a lie. I guarantee you Donald Trump's lawyers are looking into suing the shit out of him. Okay. In fact, CNN, they have a new guy there, and he started rambling off the same shit. And he had to literally apologize because CNN's lawyers are like, no, because it's not true. It's not true. Look, if you're a leftist and you want to have a debate, fine. Go study the problem. Stop being an emotional turd ball and, oh, look, we've got a little troll here. First off, cunt face, I'm not 56 or 66. Second of all, you can go fuck yourself, okay? Really. The only thank you, cross. First off, I don't look 66, okay? These fuckers, they come here and they're so imbued with their own self-loathing and hatred, and they want attention. Now, I'm not getting hysterical. I'm not getting upset. I'm not getting upset. What I find fascinating is that they waste their time coming to my little channel to bother with me. Now, Cross might have a point that actually might be Pablo, right? That actually might be him. I don't know. Or it might be somebody from the Black Pills, considering the last month has made them look stupid. And what's really interesting is now you've got them all going, yeah, we knew she was gone 2.5 years ago. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. No, actually, yes, she was. You guys basically drove Cameron off of Midnight's Edge. And something I'll never forgive Tom for. The fact that he's still there helping out is just shocking to me. But, they were wrong. Then suddenly they get on board that Kennedy was gone for 2.5 years. I mean, and you want to know what? Mike, it never used to suck. Thanks, Cross. So, but if it's Pablo, it's like, dude, you're on your way out the door. All right? I've got feelers out to find out what exactly is going on. And, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. And if I were him, I think that they're trying to fix the immigration rules. So if you spout Maoist, communist shit, you're not going to be allowed into the country to work. You don't get to come here and undermine the country. It's okay. It's okay, Cross. So, either do your job or go to Universal and draw pictures of Transformers for them. But it's over. Bitch is gone. She hired you in 2012, even though when you found out, we went to the Wikipedia page, and that's where it said that you changed it, Pablo. It still doesn't change everything that happened. Just because you changed that part of the bio, your bio, Wikipedia, doesn't mean that that's true. It's not. A lot of Wikipedia isn't. And if I was teaching a classes in history and somebody used Wikipedia as a source, I would give them an F. Because it's bullshit, right? It's bullshit like everything else. And so, she's gone. Now we all have to just wait until, he's gone. Oh, there were but there's more than one who gatekeep. Cross, there really is. There's more than one who gatekeep, and it's not just her. It's that Nina. What's her face? They used to be on Toxic Femininity, and then she left. She's fucking Nina Infinity, and there are a couple other ones that are just, So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this and give you guys a heads up. So get ready because we are going to see a new CEO for Disney, and lots of things are changing. I think at that company as a result of it, and I think at Lucasfilm as a result of it, and because Kathy's not there anymore. So, hopefully it's Josh tomorrow or some guy from the outside. Pray it's not Dana Walden. Oh, God. Awful. Should be tattooed across her forehead. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon, and I will see you around the galaxy. I'm going to add this one, and then I got to go. Tomorrow comes off because of what's going on at Galaxy's Edge as someone who's actually rational and wants to make money for the company. Because that's why you have a company, is to do that. Anyway, oh, and to Pablo, your wife looks like she's about 85 years old and she's 10 years younger than me. See you guys around the galaxy.